Would you go to a church where snake handling is part of the service? Snake handling is a religious rite observed in a small number of isolated churches. The practice of snake handling first appeared around 1930 and was associated with the ministry of George Wendt Hensley of Grasshopper Valley in southeastern Tennessee, a minister of the Church of God. Most religious snake handlers can still be found in the Appalachian Mountains and the other parts of the southeastern United States, especially in Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, North and South Carolinas, Virginia, and West Virginia. Practitioners believe that snake handling dates to antiquity and quote the Gospel of Mark and the Gospel of Luke to support the practice. They do so as a demonstration of the strength of their faith during worship service and as evidence of having the Holy Spirit within them. They also interpret those passages as a call to handle snakes literally. Rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, and copperheads are the most commonly used snakes. During the church service, believers will approach the front and pick up the snakes, usually raising them into the air, and sometimes allowing the snakes to slither on their bodies. Although individual incidents may actually be understood in a variety of ways, those who die from snake bites are never criticized for lack of adequate faith. It is believed that it was simply the deceased's time to die. Bitten believers are interpreted as lacking the true spirit and usually do not seek medical help but look to God for their healing. Recently, a Baptist pastor demonstrated his faith by picking up a rattlesnake, expecting his faith to protect him from the snake's venom. It didn't. He died. Did Jesus lie about his promise? No, he did not. The phrase taking up snakes was an Aramaic idiom that means to unknowingly collaborate with an enemy. Jesus was promising that when we share the gospel unknowingly with an enemy, and if the enemy uses our testimony against us, we will not be harmed. It is a wonderful promise. But when totally misunderstood, it can have a deadly result. Jesus spoke Aramaic and preached in Aramaic to the masses, who also spoke Aramaic. In the second century, the Jewish believers saw the incorporation of Greek tradition into their new Jewish movement. Doctrines and dogmas were replacing the teachings of Jesus. As a result, Christianity became assimilated into the Gentile culture and lost its Jewish identity. The Gospels were written with the Jews in the minds of the authors and in the language of the Jews. The style and writing of the Aramaic is not easily translated into other languages. Therefore, Aramaic thought and manner of speech was dictated into the Greek New Testament. What that means simply is this, that the New Testament is filled with many Aramaic idioms. The importance of believers today to recognize that fact can be a matter of life and death, as in the case of the Baptist preacher. Some passages in the Bible are never intended to be interpreted literally because they are simply beyond the literal. What does a scarlet thread have to do with God's plan of salvation? The answer lies in the word scarlet.